Hi everyone. So today is the Passion of Saint John the Baptist in our church. We remember his suffering and his being imprisoned and then being beheaded because he stood up for Christian values. He stood up for Christ, and he stood up to the political leaders of the day and told them that sleeping with your brother's wife is wrong. And the politicians like to listen to him, but at the same time, the scriptures tell us that Herod was perplexed. So then this banquet arises, this big banquet, where he has friends, political leaders, kings. He has people there from Galilee. And Herodias' daughter comes up and she dances, and she does it so beautifully that he promises her anything that she wants, even half the kingdom. And she asks her mother, what shall I ask for? And the mother says, ask for John the Baptist's head. So to save embarrassment, Herod does not hesitate to behead John the Baptist. And there's no choice in it for John the Baptist. He's not asked, he's not negotiated with, he's not given an opportunity to present his side of things. But because they want to carry on sinning, they want to carry on having sex, they want to carry on living life how they think it should be lived, he goes through his passion and his death. So following the gospel for us as Christians, we know that in this world we're going to face injustice. We don't rely on men's justice, but we rely on God's justice. Because God's justice in the end does come. Our lives are lost, our careers are destroyed, our families are put into poverty, and we keep our faith. Not because we think that people will understand, because usually they don't care. I mean, if their bellies are full and their children are getting the best jobs and they can sleep with whoever they want at work, what do they care? They don't care. But we're not living unto them, we're living unto the Lord. So there's a difference in our lives. The psalm tells us that it's, my lips will tell of your justice, O Lord. So we do get persecuted. Unfortunately, the scriptures tell us that that is part of our journey, and it's part of the journey of everybody who followed Christ, the women and the men. But it doesn't take away from our joy in the Lord, for our living for the Lord. It doesn't take away from our faith. And in today's society, the prophet Jeremiah tells us to brace ourselves for action, to not be dismayed at the presence of these big political leaders and even the priests and the people of the country, because God will fight for us and they will not overcome us. And we go through many situations in our lives where we don't have a choice. We didn't have a choice in Rhodesia when the schools were segregated. We didn't have a choice when we were made refugees, when the black majority rule came in. And many Indians didn't have any choice when they had to leave Africa or come to Canada. And we brought our education with us, we brought our skills with us, we brought our money with us. And initially, the first few years, yes, they say, oh, we'll take you, they put you into good jobs. And then after that, everybody seems to go through the same thing. You'll end up in the worst paid jobs, being unemployed, sporadic work, contract work. Why? Because there are families in this country who are held with prestige and esteem, like the Charbonneaus and the Peels and the Trudeaus. And you just look at who's in the political positions. Look at who's in the positions in banking at the top, the positions in managerial roles where they get paid the best. I mean, that's just the reality. It's the same thing as when I was called to the police station. Did I have a choice? Did they ask me? They didn't. Did I have a choice when I was told to go and do the psychiatric assessment? I told him I will ask my doctor and then I will go. So I didn't give them all the control. And I asked them, is that okay? They said yes, because the police are not medical professionals. And because of the way the emails were worded to me by the police, my doctor told me, I think you better do it. Because it's a very serious offense to be accused of lying to the police. Even after HSBC was cautioned, even after Credit Suisse was cautioned, they still did not listen. So at the end of the day, I would have gone to prison, and who knows what would have happened to me in that prison. Boris Becker went to prison. Did he fully understand what they were saying to him in the court when the case came up? I'm not so sure. But I know what I know, and I know that Credit Suisse Bank closed. And today there's big cases in India. Every second day or every third day, if you watch First Post with Palki, you'll see how the Indian women are pushing back now, and the men, because women like me, who are educated, who are the ones who could lift our families out of poverty, are not getting the good jobs. Not only in India, but here in Canada as well. We're not getting the executive assistant roles. We're not getting the managerial positions. We're not getting it. And there are big cases coming up precisely because of this. Because sometimes it's us women, it's the women who are supporting all the filth. It's like when you go swimming in the pool, people say, oh, you go swimming in there, people pee in there. You know what? There's pollution in the air around us. That doesn't stop me from going outside. That's why we use chemicals in the pool, and that's why the water is treated, so that we can go and swim in the swimming pool. If people go and swim in the river, do you think that river is clean? It's also full of pollution. It's also full of filth, and it's untreated water unless you're in a stream that's running. So it's the same way in life. We have to make the decisions the best we can. We go through our own passion in our own ways, and hopefully God spares our lives. But we get it from every side. Christians get it. The ideology today is if they want to sleep with their brother's wife, let them sleep. What's it got to do with you? It's got nothing to do with you. Let them do it. Isn't that the ideology? Isn't that the liberal way of thinking? But it's in the scriptures, so you can take it or you can leave it. And you can say, oh, well, look what happened to John the Baptist. Look what happened to Jesus, because they wouldn't embrace that culture of liberalism. Liberalism unto who? Unto the people of the day? Because they were not living for the people of the day. They were living for the Lord. They were living for Jesus. And when people look at me, they say to me, you still look the same like when you were 16. Who are you in love with? I said, keep your faith. You'll also look like that. Of course I age, my hair gets gray, things like that happen. But I'm not in love with anybody. I keep my faith. And I'm not seeing anybody. Because that's always the assumption. And it's a false assumption. So today we remember the passion of John the Baptist, and we also have the normal readings which tell us to continue to work unto the Lord, because when the time comes, we will get our reward. If we are doing what we are supposed to be doing, and we're doing the right things, we should get our reward from God. And it should not be fire and Hades and hell. God will see into our hearts. And as for women who go about behind our backs and arrange things and would rather see us go to jail, your time will come when it's your family, and then you'll know how devastating it is and how cruel it is when it's your daughter and your son that's facing going to jail and facing going to prison. and everything that comes with that evil of being in prison, then you'll know how I felt. And you'll know how absolutely devastating it was for me. Discrimination didn't stop in Rhodesia. It carries on right here in this country.